ज़ाबिक फ़कैफ़ अस्बिरु अला फ़िराक़िक वहब्नी सबरतु अला हर्रि नारिक फ़कैफ़ अस्बिरु अला नज़रि इला करामतिक अम कैफ़ अस्कुनु फ़िन्नारि व रजाई अफ़्वक फ़बिइज़्ज़तिक या सय्यदी व मौलाया उक़सिमु सादिक़न लइन तरक्तनी नातिक़ा लादिजन्न इलैका बहना अहलिया ज़जीजल आमिलीन वला अस्रुखन्न इलैका सुराखल मुस्तस्रिखीन वला अब्कियन्न अलैका बुकाअल फ़ाक़िदीन वला उनादियन्नका ऐन कुन्त या वलियल मोमिनीन या गायत आमालिल आरिफ़ीन या गियासल मुस्तगीसीन या हबीब क़ुलूबिस सादिक़ीन व या इलाहल आलमीन अफ़तुराक सुब्हानक या इलाही व बिहम्दिक तस्मउ फ़ीहा सौतन अब्दिन मुस्लिमिन सुजिन फ़ीहा बिमुखालफ़तिक वज़ाक़त अज़ाबिहा बिमासियति व हुबिस बैन अदबाक़िहा बिजुर्मिही व जरीरति व हुवा यज़िज्जु इलैका ज़जीज़ मुअम्मिलिन लिरहमतिक व युनादीका बिलिसानि अहलि तौहीदिक व यतवस्सलु इलैका बिरुबूबियतिक या मौलाया फ़कैफ़ यब्क़ा फ़िल अज़ाबि व हुवा यरजू मा सलफ़ मिन हिल्मिक अम कैफ़ तुलिमुहुन नार व हुवा यामुलु फ़ज़लक व रहमतक अम कैफ़ युहरिक़ुहु लहीबुहा व अन्त तस्मउ सौत व तरा मकानक अम कैफ़ यश्तमिलु अलैहि ज़फ़ीरुहा व अन्त तालमु दाफ़ा अम कैफ़ यतखलखलु बैन अदबाक़िहा व अन्त तालमु सिद्क़ा अम कैफ़ तज़जरु ज़बानियतुहा व हुवा युनादीका या रब्बा अम कैफ़ यरजु फ़ज़लक फ़ी इत्क़िही मिन्हा फ़तत्रुकुहु फ़ीहा हैहात मा ज़ालिका ज़न्नु बिक वला मुअरिफ़ु मिन फ़ज़लिक वला मुशबिहु लिमा आमलत बिही मुहव्विदीन मिन बिर्रिका व एहसानिक फ़बिल यक़ीनी अक़तउ लौला मा हकमत बिही मिन ताज़ीबी जाहिदिक व ख़दैत बिही मिन इख़लादी मुआनिदिक लजअल्तन नार कुल्लहा बरदन व सलामा व मा काना अहदिन फ़ीहा मक़र्रन वला मक़ामा लाकिन्नका तक़द्दसत अस्माउक अक़समत अन तमलहा मिनल काफ़िरीन मिनल जन्नति वन्नासि अजमईन व अन तुख़ल्लिद फ़ीहा मुआनिदीन व अन्त जल्ल सनाउक क़ुल्त मुब्तदिया व ततव्वलत बिल इनामि मुतकर्रिमा अफ़मन कान मोमिनन कमन कान फ़ासिक़न ला यस्तवून इलाही व सय्यदी फ़असअलुका बिलक़ुद्रतिल्लती क़द्दरतहा व बिलख़दियतिल्लती हतमतहा व हकमतहा व ख़लक़त मन अलैहि अजरैतहा व अन तहबली फ़ी हाज़िहिल लैला व फ़ी हाज़िहिस साअ कुल्ल जुर्मिन अजरमतुहु व कुल्ल ज़ंबिन अज़नबतुहु व कुल्ल ख़बीहिन असररतुहु व कुल्ल जहलिन अमिलतुहु कतमतुहु औ अअलनतु अख़फ़ैतुहु औ अज़हरतु व कुल्ल सय्यतिन अमरत बिइस्बातिहल किरामल कातिबीन अल्लज़ीना वक्कलतहुम बिहिफ्ज़ि मा यकूनु मिन्नी व जअलतुहुम शुहूदन अलैया मा जवारिही व कुन्त अंतर रक़ीबा अलैया मिन वराइहिम व शाहिद लिमा ख़फ़िया अन्हुम व बिरहमतिका अख़फ़ैत व बिफ़ज़लिका सदरत व अन तुवफ़्फ़िर हज़्ज़ी मिन कुल्लि ख़ैरिन अंज़लत औ इहसानिन फ़द्दलत औ बिर्रिन नशरत औ रिज़्क़िन बसत्त औ ज़ंबिन तग़फ़िरुहु औ ख़ताइन तस्तुरुहु या रब्बी या रब्बी या रब या इलाही व सय्यदी व मौलाया व मालिका रिक्की या मन बियदिही नासियती या अलीमन बिदुर्री व मस्कनती या ख़बीरन बिफ़ख़्री व फ़ाक़ती या रब्बी या रब्बी या रब असलुका बिहक़्क़िका व खुदसिका व अज़म सिफ़ातिक व अस्माइक अन तजअल औक़ाती मिनल लैली वन नहारी बिज़िक्रिका मअमूरा व बिख़िदमतिका मौसूला व आमाली इंदका मक़बूला हत्ता तकून आमाली व औरादी कुल्लुहा विरुदन वाहिदा व हाली फ़ी खिदमतिका सरमदा या सैयदी या मन अलैहि मुअव्वली या मन इलैहि शकौतु अहवाली या रब्बी या रब्बी या रब खवी अला खिदमतिका जवारिही वशदुद अलल अज़ीमति जवानिही वहबली अल जिद्द फ़ी खश्यतिक वद्दवामी फ़िल इत्तिसाली बिखिदमतिक हत्ता असरहा इलैका फ़ी मयादीन अस्साबिक़ीन व उसरिया इलैका फ़िल बारिज़ीन व इश्ताक़ा इला क़ुर्बिका फ़िल मुश्ताक़ीन व अदनुआ मिन कदनुअल मुख़लिसीन व अख़ाफ़का मख़ाफ़तल मूक़िनीन व अज्तमिअ फ़ी जिवारिका मअल मोमिनीन अल्लाहुम्मा वमन अरादनी बिसूइन फारिद वमन कादनी फ़ाकिद वजअलनी मिन अहसनी अबीदिका नसीबन इंदक व अक़रबिहिम मंज़िलतम मिनक व अख़स्सिहिम ज़ुल्फ़तन लदैक फ़इन्नहु ला युनालु ज़ालिका इल्ला बिफ़ज़लिक वजुदली बिजूदिक व अतिफ़ अलैया बिमजदिक व हफ़ज़नी बिरहमतिक वजअल लिसानी बिज़िक्रिका लहिजा व क़ल्बी बिहुब्बिका मुतय्यिमा व मुन्ना अलैया बिहुस्नि इजाबतिक वक़िलनी असरती वग़फ़िर ज़ल्लती फ़इन्नका क़ज़ैत अला इबादिका बिइबादतिक व अमरतहुम बिदुआइक व ज़मिनत लहुमुल इजाबा फ़इलैका या रब्बी नसब्तु वजही व इलैका या रब्बी मददतु यदी फ़बिइज़्ज़तिका अस्तजिब ली दुआई व बल्लिग़नी मुनाया वला तख़्त मिन फ़ज़लिका रजाई वक्फ़िनी शर्रल जिन्नि वल इंसि मिन आदाई या सर्रियर रिदा इग़फ़िर लिमन ला यमलिकु इल्ला दुआ फ़इन्नका फ़आलुन लिमा तशा या मन इस्मुहु दवा व ज़िक्रुहु शफ़ा व ताअतुहु ग़िनान इरहम मर्रासु मालिहिर रजा व सिलाहुल बका या साबिक़न नियाम या दाफ़िअन निकाम या नूरल मुस्तबिशीन फ़िज़्ज़ुलाम या आलिमल ला युअल्लम सल्लि अला मुहम्मदिन व आलि मुहम्मद वफ़अल बिमा अंत अहलु व सल्लल्लाहु अला रसूलिही वल अइम्मतिल मयामीन मिन आलिही व सल्लम तस्लीमान कसीरन कसीरा अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद।
इन्नल्लाह व मलाइकतहु युसल्लूना अलन नबी या अय्युहल्लज़ीना आमनू सल्लु अलैहि व सल्लिमू तस्लीमा। औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। यासीन वल क़ुरआनिल हकीम इन्नका लमिनल मुरसलीन अला सिरातिम मुस्तक़ीम। तंज़ीलल अज़ीज़िर रहीम लितुन्ज़िर क़ौमम मा उन्ज़िर आबाउहुम फ़हुम गाफ़िलून। लक़द हक़्क़ल क़ौलु अला अक्सरिहिम फ़हुम ला युमिनून। إن جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم ولا يمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة وأحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكل من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عادا كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا ونطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعماه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وظللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إننا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون अवलम यरल इंसानु अन्ना खलकनाहु मिन नुत्फतिन फइज़ा हुवा खसीमुम मुबीन वदरब लना मसलन वनसिया खल्क़ा क़ाल मन युह्यिल इज़ाम वहिय रमीम क़ुल युह्यिहा अल्लज़ी अंशअहा अव्वल मर्रा वहुव बिकुल्लि खल्क़िन अलीमुन अल्लज़ी जअल लकुम मिनश्शजरिल अख़ज़रि नारन फ़इज़ा अंतुम मिन्हु तूक़िदून अवलैस अल्लज़ी ख़लक़स समावाति वल अर्ज़ बिक़ादिरिन अला अन यख़्लुक़ मिस्लहुम बला वहुवल ख़ल्लाक़ुल अलीम इन्नमा अम्रुहु इज़ा अराद शयअन अन यक़ूल लहु कुन फ़यकून फसुब्हानल्लज़ी बियदिही मलकूतु कुल्लि शैइन व इलैहि तुरजऊन। सदक़ल्लाहुल अलीयुल अज़ीम। रहिमल्लाहु मन यक़रहुल फ़ातिहा। बिस्मिल्लाह।
तुम तो परदेस में सर अपना कटा कर सोए, नंगे सर आई है मुजरे को ये हमशीर हुसैन। क्या इबादत का तुम्हें शौक था अल्लाह अल्लाह, तहे शमशीर भी जारी रही तकबीर हुसैन। अम्मा ज़हरा का जनाज़ा तो उठाता शब को, मुझको बलवे में लिए जाते हैं बेपीर हुसैन। तेरे लाशे को कफन बिना मिला मेरे अखी, सर पे चादर भी नहीं क्या करूं तदबीर हुसैन। ताज़िया ने तेरे बच्चों को लगाते हैं लाइन, किस गुनाह किए हमें देते हैं ताज़ीर हुसैन। पूछता जालिमों से कोई नहीं मेरे बिन। क्या यतीमों की यही होती है तौकीर हुसैन। तेरे रुतबे की किसी ने न शनाशाई की, ये न समझे के है कुरान की तफसीर हुसैन। जद को माँ बाप को भाई हसन को रोई, क्या बुरी मेरी भी बचपन से है तकदीर हुसैन। है सलाम उस पे जो कहती थी मेरे वीर हुसैन। खाक में किसने मिला दी तेरी तस्वीर हुसैन। अहमद वाल अहमद सलावत।
Muhammad wa al Muhammad salawat. Can you please recite Surah Al-Fatiha for Marhuma Zainab Rajab Ali Rashid and all our Marhum in Surah Mubarakat Al-Fatiha. Couple of announcements. Tomorrow's Friday prayers will start at 11:48 a.m. sharp. 11:48 a.m. sharp. Juma prayers will be led by Sayyid. For us, the call Momina requested to arrive on time so we can start on time. The Ayam Fatimiyya programs will start on Sunday for 5 days from Sunday to Thursday. Brother Sadiq Tamani will be reciting the majalises for Ayam Fatimiyya. All Mu'minin are requested to participate in the programs. Bar Muhammad wa al Muhammad salawat. Please can you invite Dr. Kamar Abbas to the podium with a loud nara salawat. Bar Muhammad wa al Muhammad salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم النبيين وآله الطاهرين محمد وآل محمد. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. I know that we have just recited Surah Fatiha for Marhumas, but I will request again to remember her with another Surah Fatiha, and may Allah bless her with a place in the neighborhood of Masumin alayhi salam and reward her abundance and bless the family with sabr. Bismillah. We just heard that inshallah next week here at the center we will be commemorating Ayam Fatimiyya. But all over the world, these days which have already started and which will be going on for the next week or so, are quite often dedicated to the Lady of the Paradise. And I think, thank you for the opportunity for me to speak here. So I will pay my humble submission to the memory of Lady Fatima Salamun Alaiha. Because it is important. Quite often it is said that Lady Fatima, Sayyida Zainab, they are the role models for women. And you would remember, if you would remember, so many times I have said, no, they are not. They are the example for all of us. They are leaders for all of us. They're the guides for all of us, men and women alike. Of course, some of the tendency you draw from men, from women, but the characteristics they showed in the development of the society of that time is really exemplary. And sometimes we get bogged down with some of the details. And when we talk about Lady in particular, I mean, simple mazlumiyat she has is none of us knows her real date of birth. None of us knows her real date of martyrdom. None of us knows where she's buried. Exactly, that is. Obviously in Medina, but where? And when we look at the history, we get bogged down with the dates and simple superficial things. History is much bigger than that. You know me, I like history. But history reading is not just about reading the events. To me, history of Sayyida Fatma's demise is about Ali getting lonely on that day. His best friend departing, and he's never going to have that again. And he still have a mission to accomplish. To me, history is that what emotions she would be going through in those days since the demise of Holy Prophet. To me, those emotions and those sentiments should make us who we are. Because if we wouldn't, we would really desperately fail in following these people. Our forefathers established our Aimma established the Institute of Azadari. Our forefathers worked on it so that we can get near in our hearts to Sayyid al-Shuhada and Lady Zainab. And when we hear about Ali Asghar, we get drawn to them. And this is, to me, is the bigger part of the history. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this is why what I would try to do, we'll just read some of the history events which happened. And I will just be going back to our ulama to say what are they trying to get out of Sayyida Fatima Salam Alaiha's history. We know that she was born in the days of Jahiliyyah, as we all know. But let you take back to that time. So when you will start from her birth, her relationship with her father, her status in the society of that time, till she passes away. And how does it actually accomplish the role modeling for us? So let's start from her birth. Because if we didn't do that, let me just say another important thing, what I feel is that following them will make us a real Shia. And if we will know the history, that is when we will become Shia. It is quite often said that a Shia has got 5 characteristics, which are given by Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam. But if we read, every Imam has said something about being a Shia. Let me quote just Imam, our 5th Imam, Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam. One of his companions, and he has got a lot of ahadith from 5th Imam, his name is Muyassar. He says to Muyassar, O Muyassar, should I now describe to you who our Shias are? I'm sure you can read others, but just for today's purpose, I picked up this one. Should I now describe to you who our Shias are? Muyassar replied, of course, I will be sacrificed on you, Imam. Please give us the guidance. Imam said, unquestionably, our Shias are like a fortified stronghold. Their chests are places that preserve the trust, and are those who have a firm, dignified intelligence. So there's a lot of responsibility, not just praying. Praying is important, but there is some social responsibility that we have. They do not spread rumors that they are told unless they have confirmed it, and are not severe people, nor are they people who show off. And then this is the last part, which to me is really mind-boggling for me. During the night time, they are like monks as they stay up the night busy in prayers and worship. And during the daytime, they are the lions, active, energetic, involved in the activities of the world and the community. How will we get there? We will only be able to get there if we develop ourselves in our knowledge and the wisdom which takes us there. And who other to give us wisdom other than Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam? So when I talk about the birth, let's talk about a little bit about birth of Sayyida and then just reflect on that. As I already said, we still have God. So we obviously follow a particular date, but if you look at the history books, there are different dates and even different years. But one thing is certain, she is born in Makkah in the days of Jahiliyyah, when Quraysh ruled. And what is famous about the days of Jahiliyyah for the birth of a woman or girl? The burial. We all have heard it. There's an Arabic poet which said, why do you bury them? Because the grave is the best son-in-law. They believed that was the honor. Somehow they believed that. And the other reason which is given, because they are not bread earners. In other words, they were not second or third, they were just totally differentiated citizens, even if they were allowed. In that society, she is born in the house of Khadija and Prophet. Just stop there and think how Khadija became Khadija. Khadija did not become Khadija because she was wealthy. Khadija became Khadija because she gave all the wealth away so much she could not afford a shroud in the end. This is what Lady Fatima is learning from then onwards, from when she is born. And she is being born in a very cruel society, a misogynistic society, but also a society which has got low ethics and which is a very wealth-oriented society. Quraysh took pride, I'm sure all of us have heard, to serve the richer people. Umayyah ibn Khalaf, Abu Sufyan, they used to be the wealthy people of the society. That's why they were the leaders of that time. Banu Hashim at the same time in that era had kept their nobility on one side. This is where Lady Fatima is born. Another point. Lady Fatima is born, and as we went on afterwards, it is said that Holy Prophet had a son later on called Ibrahim, and he passed away. And which surah was revealed at that time? Surah Kausar. And this is my belief learned from the scholars. That two of the things, one I will come later, but this is one part. This is Allah's Mu'jiza. Surah Kausar is the smallest, shortest surah in Quran. And no matter where you go, whichever part of the world you are, every child is asked to memorize that. Subhanallah. Lady Fatima's lesson, if really you want to know, every child of the world, a Muslim world, memorizes it. So what is the difference between us and them if we can't even reflect on it? And this is the Surah Kausar, which became Lady Fatma's like pehchan or identity later on. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And then Lady Fatma started going. She was very little child, like child here. When all of the Banu Hashim and the Muslims were surrounded in Shebe Abi Talib, the ditch, and they stayed there for 3 years. Remember, Lady Khadija is the wealthiest woman. And this is what Fatima is seeing. Fatima is seeing, and this is making Fatima Fatima. When she is seeing that my mother, who is the wealthiest person in the society, suddenly being thrown out of the society, ostracized, hungered, starved in Shebe Abi Talib with my father and the rest of the people. There is a famous Sahabi, Saad ibn Abi Waqas, the infamous Umar ibn Saad's father, but he became Muslim in Makkah, Saad. And Saad ibn Abi Waqas says in Sunni Shia books, he said at that time, if we could find anything soft which we could chew, we will eat it. That was, so we were eating grass. We were eating insects. That's how we survived. So it was Lady Khadija at the same time and Bibi Fatima having something nice, 3-course meal at that time. This is what is making Fatima Fatima. So much so when they came back to Makkah, when the persecution was lifted, same year Abu Talib and Lady Khadija passed away. And quite often in the narrations it is said that because they got ill when they were persecuted at that time. This is what this young woman or young girl is seeing. This is the emotion she is going through. As a young girl, she loses her mother. She loses the protection. She can see her father being persecuted. So many times you have heard and we have passed by so quickly that people used to throw garbage on Holy Prophet and Fatima used to come and clean it. Imagine any of us who will be father, how will we feel a little girl coming and cleaning us? Because fathers are supposed to protect the daughters. And that daughter is coming to the aid of her father. This is what is making Fatima Fatima. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And this is why when we move forward, when we talk, of course, I mean, she has got a great personality and everybody understands that. But this is why you will understand why she is called Abiha. It's not like it's just given a title to her. She has gone through sacrifices all her life. From the birth as a little child moving forward. And now she migrates to Makkah. It's from Makkah to Medina. And do you remember how she migrated? How will be Fatima feeling when her father left Makkah? She's still in Makkah. She's stranded there. Her only support, which is her father, had to, if I can use the word a bit disrespectful, but that's, as a little child you will see, he fled Makkah to go to Medina. Of course, he left her with Imam Ali. But as a little girl, what is going through your mind? My father has got 40 people outside there just ready to kill him at any stage. And there will be nobody who can be blamed after that. How terrifying will be that? And at that time, she stands fast. And she, 3 days later, when Imam Ali is about to migrate, she joins Imam Ali, along with Imam Ali's mother and Imam Ali's cousin, Fatima bint Zubair. So there were 3 Fatima with Imam Ali when Imam Ali migrated. If anybody would have read history or even watched on television program, Imam Ali did not pass very nicely and easily. He was stopped. He was surrounded. They were about to attack him again and again and again. And this little girl, this one man who is trying to protect them, these 3 women, with the people who are standing, who were the esteemed warriors of Makkah of that time. Battle of Fujar has just finished. And it is said that 700 people who actually fought in Battle of Fujar were there to kill Ali and Prophet. And here's one Ali standing against. This little woman is still standing there. She has to walk. These are sacrifices every day she made in the name of Islam. And that Abiha arrives in Medina. And when she arrives in Medina, what happens? Then we find the Holy Prophet showers her with love. Well, obviously she showered her with love before that, but now it is public. He is making statements after statement after statement. And if you have read all of that whenever I yearn for heaven, I will breathe in the scent of Fatima. My daughter Fatima is the angel in the face of human being. And he said, if goodness and virtue was in form of a person, that person would be Fatima. All the ahadith. He's saying that publicly now. And when he sits on the mimbar, and when Fatima walks in, what famously he does? He leaves his space for Fatima to sit. It's so interesting. I will take a pause here and I will remind all of us. When Lady Fatima passes away, and we'll come to that later on, it is quite often the apologetic people in the history, they said the reason she was buried at night because nobody had seen her during the day. And that is why, to protect her hijab and everything, she had to be buried at night. Of course not. She was sitting in front. I'm not saying she had a niqab or hijab or whatever, but she came to Masjid-e-Nabawi regular basis. Prophet used to give her space. And correct me if I'm wrong, we all know about the architecture of Masjid-e-Nabawi. It was basically not even a mimbar. It was a palm tree in Masjid-e-Nabawi where Holy Prophet will stand next to the palm tree and deliver the lecture or sermon or whatever you call it. And Fatima will come and sit in his place, which was a little bit elevated spot. If she is sitting there, where is Holy Prophet himself? Either he's sitting on the floor or he's standing up. Just think of that. He is projecting her. This is Fatima. Come and know her. This is what she is going to be. So of course, these type of ahadiths are created to protect some other people. That Lady Fatima refused for them to come to the funeral. And that is why the stories were made up. She was only buried at night because of her modesty and parda. No, she did not want. She was so resentful of some people that she did not want them to even know that she has died. So of course, I mean, her hijab is so important, we know that. But it's not just because of that. Because she was actively participating. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali. So we come to the second after Hijrah now. So within 1 year, she is well known now. People know her. She is now known as the daughter of Prophet. The life is getting better. In second after Hijrah, Battle of Badr happens. Before Battle of Badr, again, look at the history. There's only one known warrior on Muslim side. His name is Hamza. Nobody else has fought a battle before. And then Ali emerges. Ali emerges as the biggest warrior of that time. And when he does emerge, he becomes the biggest hero. If you look at Encyclopedia Britannica, they said 3 people, their place in the history got cemented on that day. One obviously is Prophet. And the second they say about Abu Sufyan, because before Abu Sufyan, it used to be Abu Jahl and Abu Lahab who used to lead. And Abu Jahl got killed, and Abu Sufyan took the reins of the Quraysh. But the third one who is mentioned is Ali. According to the Western scholars, Ali was not that esteemed in the history till the day of Badr. Regardless of the fact or not, what the point is, Ali became famous. Ali became the apple of everybody's eyes. Ali is the protector of the Muslim society now. And everybody's looking at these things. Same year, what happens? Ali gets married to Fatima. Second after Hijrah. Third after Hijrah, they have Hassan. Fourth after Hijrah, they have Hussein. Life can't be better than that. And now, in the meantime, Battle of Uhud, more cementing of the place. Again, Battle of Uhud, how will Fatima feel when she heard that Prophet has been killed? And she rushed to Uhud, the Battle of Uhud. Ali is bringing the water in the shield, and Fatima is washing the wounds away from the Holy Prophet. It's no easy task, these things. The battle is going on, and she is sitting there trying to nurse her father. She is acquiring a central place in Medina. And there are lots of other things come at that time. So now your daughter, Holy Prophet, has projected her as a noble person, as an educator, as a renowned personality, a noble person in the society. And then the small little events happened. You must have heard of charity. That Fatima is sitting, they fast for 3 days, and then every day somebody else turns up and she gives it away. Now, obviously it was all of them who did that, but you and I know how the home works. The lady of the house, how much importance she has when it comes to food. She is the one who is happy to give that food away. So when we talk about charity and how charity was done, now again stop here and try to reflect, please, for a second. This is where the women are empowered in their society. Khadija was empowered to give all her money away. And Khadija trained Fatima. Of course, there are divine knowledge that they all had, divine wisdom they had, absolutely no. But they still had to be practiced. And Fatima took the responsibility to practice it. And I really, really hope that we are speaking to madrasa and children. We try to bring this side of Fatima. How Fatima created a role model for herself. In doing that charity, she is still the most noble person. There comes a point. Let's talk about charity, but let's talk about that second point. One is the Surah Kausar. Every single little Muslim boy, girl, old man, young man, it's just impossible that they wouldn't memorize it or basically do that. But let's look at the second thing, which Holy Prophet deliberately gave her. There comes a point when Holy Prophet, Bibi Lady Fatima approaches Holy Prophet to say the things are getting hard. Will it be possible if we can get a helper in the house? How many times, if you look at history, Holy Prophet has given the maids and the servants to other people, leave alone her family. And even when like Fizza and Iman were given, they came up with their own rights. But when she came for that, everybody knows what Holy Prophet gave her. Allahu Akbar and Alhamdulillah and Subhanallah, Tasbih. Let's stop for a second and again reflect on it. We also know that in the history, Holy Prophet commissioned people like Fizza and Ayman for Bibi Fatima. Why on that day it came to the Tasbih? And when you reflect on it, you also get to know that it was for Lady Fatima maybe, but it was for all of us. Now, if you speak to any brother, any school of thought, they will also tell you that after Salat, what I should be doing is Tasbih. This is a present to us through Lady Fatima, which has come on. And when it has come with so much resilience to be provided to us. If your difficulty is big, Allah is bigger than that. If you are having some good time, praise Allah. And no matter what, whichever way you are, Allah is glorified. And this is the mantra which has been, if I can use the word, it has been given to us day in every single time. And not just to us, every brothers and sisters. And they will remember that. How come now anybody forget the name of Lady Fatima? It is not engraved, it is stamped in the Islamic history from now and forever. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Time passes, and this beautiful couple, Ali and Fatima, had Hassan, then Hussein, then Zainab, and then Kulthum. And then calamity hits when her father passes away. Of course, it's not just that what was happening against them. Lady Fatima, who was the center of attraction for everyone, suddenly becomes, if I can use the word, pariah in their society. Nobody wants to talk to her anymore, because if you did, you will be ostracized. The caliphs who came after that, and their group did not want to entertain any new thing for Lady Fatima. Now, here I will stop again, and as I said, history is about reflecting. So let me ask you one other thing, please, if you are with me on this. There is always, if you look at the language of Quran, and most scholars will say that, whether they are Sunnis or Shias, when it is said, ilmul kalam, or the matter of argument, how do you place your argument? Quite often it will be said, it is from, look at the language of Quran, and then they set up their rules. How do you place your arguments? One of the arguments which everybody who has Arabic linguistic will tell us, the Quran tells us, make your argument with examples. Have you not seen this? And then the argument. Has it not happened before? So fasting is wajib on you because it was wajib before. This type of argument is given again and again. So it's an Arabic linguistic argument. So when I reflect on it myself, for example, so there are two things which we have argued before as well, put the argument forward. Abu Talib, some of the people will say he never converted, and so he remained a non-believer. You might have heard this argument. And the biggest argument which is given against it in Ilmul Kalam is that Arabs, if you look at all the the battle cries, when they used to go out and make the battle cry, remember the Battle of Karbala, when Abbas will go out and Habib ibn Mazahir, they used to make their battle cry. They will introduce themselves well, and then they will get taunted back, or somebody will say, and even in Karbala it happened. Ali, when he used to go and make a battle cry, read about it, Battle of Khaybar. When he went to Umar ibn Abdul in Battle of Khandaq, he introduced himself. I am Ali, the son of Abu Talib. Umar ibn Abdul turns around, and what does he do? He taunts him, saying, not taunts him, he says, go back, your father was my friend. And obviously it's mostly in Shia books that it said, Ali turned around and said, no, Mu'min and believer and non-believer can't be friends, they can be acquaintance. I know that Sunni books, I don't find it there. But the least I find, nobody ever taunted Ali back that your father was a non-believer. In any battle, they never did that your father was on our side. Why are you fighting for Muhammad? Nobody could dare do that. This is the biggest argument given for Abu Talib. So let's go to Lady Fatima. One of the arguments, it will be a long debate about this, but it is said that Prophet had other daughters as well, and she was the youngest daughter. So one of the arguments, based on the same linguistic, when Lady Fatima went to claim Fadak, the argument given against was what? That Holy Prophet said that we, the prophets, don't inherit anything, and we do not leave any inheritance. You must have heard this, right? Never in that discussion they said, your other sisters will not be given. Never it says in any history book. That meant that actually, even if they had different rights. So they were not in the same league as Lady Fatima. Otherwise, she would be told straight away that, look, your Zainab and Ruqayya, they did not have any inheritance and you will not have any inheritance. Not a single time anybody said that. No book will tell you this. This is what, at least what it means, Lady Fatima had a very special designation in that society. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad. And this now takes us to the last part, which is now Fadak. And I would say, I'm sure all of you would have done that. Fadak, there are few sermons of Fadak. It's not just she went in there and she only gave. But if you look at it, most books will have compiled a long Fadak. It is quite often said that they were statements made at different points or something. But everybody knows, Sunni all resources tell you, these are the words of Lady Fatima. And to me, Lady Fatima completed the argument of her knowledge and wisdom. And I will take this opportunity to basically just reflect on just one part of it. And please tell me if it is not divine, what it is. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Lady started with Tawheed. Lady started with some introductions and everything, but this is the middle part, or could be a part which was said on a different time. But these are Lady's word. And she gives arguments about arguments, and this is so much beauty of it. And I really hope that we, again, when we are speaking to children, and we need to talk to them about these things. Number one, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allah made Iman or faith. Why? Means to purify yourself from bending yourself against other people. So Tawheed is not just about deities. Tawheed is not just about God. Tawheed is about your self-esteem as well. If you connect yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your dignity will be raised. Lady Fatima made that argument. Secondly, Allah made prayer or salat a mean of freeing yourself from arrogance. Make yourself humble when you go to salat. Whole theory, whole philosophy is in that. How can we make ourselves humble? How should we be offering prayers? One statement says it all. That Allah made the salat a means of freeing ourselves from arrogance. I think this is such a powerful statement, and this can do its own khutbat and khutbat. Allah made the zakat a means of cleansing the soul and increasing sincerity, increasing sustenance. Meaning, when we give zakat, we stop loving the wealth. We stop loving the money. And there are lots of people here who would be having a lot of money, but I know that they will be giving the money away. And you only can ask them that which part is more satisfying for them. Is it acquiring the money or giving the money? Fasting or Som, a means of establishing sincerity. Again, you can do lectures and lectures on this, because fasting is just for you. Nobody knows you are fasting when the day you are fasting, when you are walking on the street or going to the work. Unless somebody asks, can you have food? And then you say, no, I'm okay. So everything, and even if somebody is offering, nobody knows. Especially, for example, living in West, you will know. Nobody else knows you are fasting. Do they? It's your sincerity which stops you from eating and drinking and accepting something. Hajj or pilgrimage, a means of upraising the religion. Meaning, when hundreds of thousands of them join each other, you can show your unity and be there. Justice, a means of maintaining harmony of the hearts. Every single statement here, in the basis of argument, you can make whole speeches on it. Obedience to us, Ahle Bayt, means of maintaining order in the community. So, If you love us, don't fight with each other. You keep that harmony and unity among yourself, because that's a tool. Our imamat or leadership, a security from disunity. Jihad, glory for Islam, patience and sabr as an aid in making one deserving of recompense. Amr bil Maruf as a reformation for the masses. Let's stop here again. Who else said that? Amr bil Maruf, to reform the masses. Remember when Imam Hussein left Medina, and he spoke to his brother. He said, I'm not uprising to creating disunity. I'm uprising for Amr bil Maruf and to reform the masses. Lady Fatima is a huge educator. The Imams are learning from her. And that is what they did later on. The whole paragraph goes on and on. Sila Rahmi, keeping ties with family, a means of increasing your strength in numbers. Because if you won't do Sila Rahmi, the two brothers will break away. And that will cause internal depression and anxiety among you, no matter how much you will be bring that stubborn man or woman to say, no, I don't care about them. Deep down, and how do I know that? When you are looking after dying patients and you say, is there anybody you want to know? Even the white people, I've looked after, as you know, 25 years plus, I've looked after them. When you're taking the history and you say, who do you want to be informed? I haven't spoken to my brother, he lives in Scotland, he needs to know that I'm dying now. It's so common for me to see. So for years and years, they have not spoken to each other. But when they are on their deathbed and we try to give them some peace and unity, they remember them. Lady Fatima told us that 1400 years back. The whole lecture talks about Lady Fatma's, and I won't be able to go there. I was just trying to give you a flavor of it. When you lead, every single statement what Lady Fatima is making is a self-building tool for us. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And when she stood up on the day, you can also see she trained Hussein, what you just heard. But I ever imagined, where did Zainab got the strength of standing up in the court and doing a talk like she did? Because she, as a little girl, had seen her mother doing that. This family is not an ordinary family. Every single one is a role model there. We just need to look deeper in there. We need to learn from there. How Lady Fatima stood up there just for the justice. And there's a very huge argument which goes like, and again, look at the difference of the aqal, of the level, of the wisdom of there. They say, present any witnesses. She presents Ali. Husbands is not allowed. Hassan and Hussein, children are not allowed. And she then presents Ayman. And the books say that, every book says that. And they laugh and they basically say, do you not know the simple Islam, the rule, the family member and the maids and slaves are not allowed. And she did not say anything at that time. She lets everybody speak. The next day she turns up, she said, I did not bring her as a witness. I brought her as an evidence. She actually caught them big time on this. She made them commit. That is the witness that's only wanted. She said, Ayman was my father's maid and you have let her stay with me. If that was your inheritance argument, it would have gone. So Lady Fatima made the whole speech, the whole saga of Fadak. And it is quite often said, and I will just quite quickly share and finish this discussion. Some people who are from Pakistan will know there was a scholar called Muhammad Rampuri. And this is what I heard him sitting in a room. Muhammad Rampuri, if you know about Pakistan, it has got one of the largest mosques of the world. It's called Badshahi Mosque. It's in Lahore. It's a massive, massive, massive. He used to be Peshimam there. And then suddenly he started speaking very much pro Karbala. So when I was a medical student, we invited him to Karachi to come and do a talk for us in there. And then we were sitting like this. And he said, well, how did you basically start thinking like that? What happened to you? What changed your mind? And he told us this story. And I tell that with complete responsibility because I was in the room listening to him like this. You know, in the hadith, it goes like, he told him, he told him, he told him. It's not like that. I heard him sitting here. He said, you know, Muhammad Rampuri is a very sinful, he said about himself, is a very sinful person. He's a very like ordinary Muslim. What happened that when we went to a madrasa or wherever, I had a very good friend and he told me his name. His name was Wahiduddin. So he was his partner. And then I came to Lahore and he went to Peshawar. Peshawar is another city in Pakistan in north of India. And it's quite a large city. And it also has got very historical mosques. So Wahid became an imam there and I was an imam in Lahore. And then years fell and obviously there were no phones or any, like obviously there were no WhatsApp or anything. So we lost contact. Sometimes we'll write letter to each other. And then one night, I was at home when it was a big knock at my door. And it was raining that night. And I opened the door. It was his daughters. 2 daughters standing outside, young women. And they told me that father died 2 months ago. So I said, I'm really sorry. I did not know that. He said, yes, but we need some help now. I said, what's the help you need? He said, father was a very fundamentalist scholar. And in his mindset, he did not send us to school. So we know a little bit of reading and writing, but they're not, haven't got a degree or anything. And we don't have a brother. And he died. So there's no bread earner left in the house. And now we want to go and work in other people's houses. They say, oh my God, we can't make daughters of Maulana Wahiduddin serve as a maid in the house. So nobody gives us even that job. So that means now we are running out of food in the house. So we need some help. So this Maulana, he said that I got really upset about it. I said, Muhammad Rampuri, and in Urdu he was saying, and I won't be able to repeat everything. He said, Muhammad Rampuri, you are such ignorant man. Your best friend died and his family is left like that. And you do not even know that. What sort of Muslim are you? He said, you are my daughters, stay overnight, we will sort something out tomorrow. And he said, then I went to Peshawar, I do the blah, blah, I did these things, and I settled them well. And then I was coming really proud of myself. And then he said, I am Muhammad Rampuri, a sinful person, one of the most ordinary Muslims in the world. If my friend dies and his daughter asks me something, I go all the way to Peshawar and do that. If Prophet dies and his daughter comes to ask for something, how come somebody I have always called whole my life, the Prophet's best friend, will not give her anything? The moral of the story for me is, if we read these people's life histories well, we don't need that Socrates and Plato's arguments to prove that what is right and what is wrong. Muhammad Rampuri sat there and said, it opened my eyes. Because I had read about Fatma and I had read about Fadak. And I always thought it was wrong. And he said, I do not know now. Even if it was wrong, she was the daughter of the caliph's best friend. He should have done something about it. He never, there is no history which tells us he gave anything to them. And they left it on them on the streets. I will stop here, but what I really want us to remember is their histories are not just about dates and events. It's about reflecting on them and learning something and taking that message out. May Allah give us the tawfiq to remember Lady Fatima not just one day or few days a week, but may Allah give us the tawfiq to remember her all year of her life. May Allah give us the tawfiq to learn from her history and apply it May Allah give us a tawfiq to understand how she wanted us to do namaz and fasting and pay zakat and do our hajj. And may Allah give us a tawfiq to try to bring that spirit in our daily lives. And may Allah hasten the appearance of our Imam. May Allah actually help the people who are going through the atrocities all over the world. People in, obviously, we were recently mourning Gaza, then we moved to Lebanon, and very recently we are mourning Parachanar, where lots of atrocities are happening. And may Allah give us the tawfiq to remember them and try to help and support in whatever we can. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله، السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله، السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله، السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله، السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله، السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام، السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى، السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة زهراء، السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن الثار والوتر الموتور، أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونحيت عن المنكر وأتأت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين، فلعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سميت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولا يا أبا عبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأسلاب الشامخة والأرحام المتحرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من مظلمات ثيابها، وأشهد أنك من دائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين، وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي، وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وألام الهدى والأروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا، وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسوله أني بكم مؤمن وبي بكم موقن بالشهيدين وخواتيم عملي، وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع، صلوات الله عليكم وعلى رواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم، لعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سميت بذلك فرضيت به. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباء، السلام عليكم يا أسفياء الله ووداء، السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي ولي الزقي الناس. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله. بأبي أنتم وأمي تبتم وتوبت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما، فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا أبا الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن سيد الوسيين. السلام عليك يا ابن أول القوم الإسلام وأقدم إيمانا وأقومهم بدين الله وأحوتهم على الإسلام. أشهد لك نصحت لله ولرسوله ولأخيك، فنعم الأخ المواسي. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة استخلت منك المحارم وانتهكت حرمة الإسلام. فنعم الصابر المجاهد المحامي الناصر والأخ الدافع عن أخيه مجيب إلى طاعة ربه راغب فيما زهد فيه غيره من الثواب الجزيل والثناء الجميل، والحقك الله بدرجة آبائك في جنات النعيم. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغربة السلطان أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا، كن شفيعنا شفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمامنا الإنس والجان. أجل الله فرجا وسخر الله مخرجا وزهورا ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم
وليك الحجة الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في حياة السادي وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا معينا حتى تسكنه أرضك وتمديه فيها طويلا.